me see. I guess we can go ahead and start the meeting. And so at this time, I'll call our meeting to order. This is the meeting of the Town Center Committee on Friday, December the 13th, 2024, at noon in the Matthew Thornton Meeting Room. Looks like we're light by Bill Wilkes, and who would be there?
Finley.
What?
Finley, he's not here.
Oh, Finley and Bill, yeah, okay. So I think we'll go ahead with the meeting. Oh, we have a guest today, an interested person from Merrimack.
We have a designate the minute taker. Would you like me to have? Would you like me to have Rhonda do the minutes again?
That
from the
would be
meeting?
nice as can be.
Rhonda is perfect for that, even though I've never met Rhonda.
Well, you can come right
I will
downstairs.
do that.
We should all go see Rhonda.
What's that?
We should all go see Rhonda and thank her.
We should, yeah, well, I thank her, and certainly they come out good too. She knows what to put in there and what to leave out, so that's very good.
She just needs to man our window right now, so she can't come up physically, so
Yeah.
she does them. She does it fine.
But last time she did that, she worked off the tapes of the meeting afterwards, so that's good. It's good to have those minutes. The town is big on collecting minutes.
And I apologize for interrupting you. I just wanted to get that clear.
Nope, it was a good interruption and worth the straightening out. So I think we'll just call Finley and Bill absent and go on with the meeting then. And thank you for that, Dawn. I was about to say that we had a guest today, a woman, Lisa, how did I write it here? Castle? Castle. C-A-S-T-L-E? No. C-A-S-S-E-L-L. E-L-L, okay. Yeah. A newcomer to Merrimack who's interested in sidewalks. Thinks we need them. I don't know where she got the idea, but we're glad to have you, and I hope this is interesting to you. Our next order of business today is approval of minutes for the October 18th meeting, which was our last meeting. I gave out copies to everybody to look at, and I think I had sent them out earlier, but take a minute and look them over, and I'll entertain a motion to approve them if you're happy with them.
I'll make a motion.
Okay,
I'll second.
Mr. Chevino. Okay.
I think Rhonda did a great job.
Yeah,
I've got a few minor corrections.
go for it.
Just really, really nitpicky stuff.
I'll go.
Under old business, results from the annual meeting, the very last line, Town Center Committee, just town, the T needs to be capitalized,
Okay.
if you see that. And then on page 4, under upcoming round of TAP grants, in the first 2 lines, I think just TAP just needs to be all capitalized, if that matters. It's just,
Okay, you gotta let me catch up with you.
That's correct. They do need to be
okay.
all capitalized.
Yep.
Where
Yeah, so
are you?
on page 4, under new business, upcoming round of TAP grants,
Yes?
on that first line and second line, TAP grants is there, but TAP, all of those letters should be capitalized.
Oh, okay.
And those are my just minor fixes. Shout out to Rhonda. Thanks, Rhonda,
Okay.
because the rest looks great.
One other thing, what was the first one you mentioned? I didn't,
The first one under old business on page 1,
page 1?
results from the annual meeting with the town council. The very last line there, Town
Yeah.
Center Committee. The T, just capitalize that T on Town Center Committee.
Okay, all right.
Just so when we're all going over these in 10 years, we're not, shaking our heads, saying, how do we miss that?
Well, those would be easy to catch.
Yeah, okay.
But sometimes we do have those. Okay, I have a motion made and seconded, made by Matt and seconded by Terrell to approve the minutes with those changes, right? All those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
And opposed, abstention, all in favor. Okay. Thank you. That's the minutes. And we can go into our old business discussions. And we start off with Church Street.
I don't have any update from the last time.
No.
Things move, things move a little slower, so.
Do we have who's going to do the surveying?
We will.
But that hasn't changed, so it's still a plan for the town?
I have not been working through that. I've been working through budgets and CIPs, and
Sure.
so
Yeah.
I haven't gotten to that yet. That is on my plate, but
Yeah.
I'd have to also coordinate eventually with the town council, and they're busy and through, and so it'll be
Yeah.
sometime probably in March before,
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
February, March, before
Yeah.
we push this forward. But our whole project is being pushed out further, so we have plenty of time. There's plenty of time.
Well, it's been pushed a couple times already. I just wonder where it is. Is it
But
go-
when we get to it, we'll go down through.
All right,
So I have nothing new to report on Church Street.
okay. All right. We had I'm going to move this priority list down on the agenda because I have a couple versions of a priority list, and I want the committee to look at it and see if we agree on it or not. That's that was B, the priority list, yeah. And you had some disagreement with my version of the priority list, which I thought I took from your version. Something to think about till we get to it.
We voted on the priority list I gave you. We all voted as a committee
Yeah,
on that priority list.
okay. I think this is the same, but
Okay.
could you send me the problem with the priority list you sent me was in a format that my computer wouldn't digest.
Okay.
So,
So you need a PDF, okay.
thank you.
Mhm.
The next is the school master plan status.
Well,
Matt,
the cornerstone, really, which has kind of risen to the top, is the sidewalk on O'Gara, which we've been talking about perhaps for 8, 9, 10 years now.
yes,
And in conjunction with that, O'Gara Drive has deteriorated too, so it makes sense to do both of them. The only issue is the price tag involved in doing both of them at the same time. It's always about the money, right?
always
The
about
money and the
money.
timing.
yeah,
And then, as part of the cornerstone of the master plan, is the new central office.
Yes.
And the board will be discussing that in their next few meetings as far as
okay,
what to present to the voters. Everybody remembers last year, the warrant article failed. First, it was like, I think, 6.2, then the board reduced the scope to 4.8 at the deliberative session, and then when it went to the ballot, it failed by a pretty big margin. So
yeah,
there's probably going to be some sort of adjustments made there. I'm not sure what they are, or I'm not privy to be able to disclose those at the point in time.
yeah,
But the board will be having ongoing discussions to see
Yeah.
where that's going to land.
yeah,
And obviously, the O'Gara Drive, the sidewalk, the central office is a need that's not really going to go away. Because currently, we're in 2 houses. They're not up to code for any sort of office occupancy at all. And we've been there for probably 40 years.
yeah,
And it's just kind of been one of these things where, well, we'll get to that sooner or later.
yeah,
Sooner or later it's going to come. Whether or not I am still here when sooner or later comes,
yeah,
that's up to discussion.
yeah.
But it is something that's going to happen at some point in time.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I think that's pretty much what I put in my annual report. I'm in the process of preparing an annual report of our activities, and I'm just leaving it to saying the school board's going to discuss this, yeah. Yeah.
In fact, it was nice. One of my old board members, Davis Powell, I don't know if you
Oh, I
recall.
remember
yeah.
him, yes.
Yeah, he was up from Florida and he visited me in my office, so we got to catch up on the state of how things are moving along. And since Davis left, not much moves, so
No.
he didn't have much to catch up on.
No, a lot of activity, a lot of wheel spinning, yeah.
The intention is right, but to be responsive to the taxpayers and everything like that, and when this can be feathered in at a time where it's going to have the least amount of tax impact, that's always going to be a conversation.
Yeah.
And we've really got to coordinate with the town of Merrimack to see how this all fits in and work kind of cooperatively with that. And Dawn could do all our engineering work for free. Right? In your spare time. Right? I also want to bring up something. This is a new one, Dawn. I sent you an email. I got an email from Mary Walsh from the state DOT about needing an easement on the corner of O'Gara and Babusick Lake Road on both sides. If you could just look at that and make me feel comfortable about that before I...
It came in just as I was walking out the door to come
Yeah.
up here. So
Okay, all right. So
I'll-
I'd
yeah.
appreciate it. Thank you.
How can she will have to get an easement from the,
They want
Property
us to
owner.
the state wants us to give us the easement, and I'm not sure if it's really in the public right of way or not. I mean,
Probably not, otherwise they wouldn't be.
I know.
It's not within the right of way, otherwise they would not be asking you for an easement.
Well, that's what I assume,
Yes.
but I
Let me look at it.
I just want you to look at it,
It's part of my job.
to give,
Okay.
so you can give me that warm and fuzzy feeling, so when I say, yeah, it's okay.
Right.
I don't want them
Yes.
to take half the girls' softball field,
Right.
But it's 65 square feet on both sides. One's a little corner, and one's a little sliver of land in front of the softball field, right on Babusick Lake Road. And I don't want that to interfere with anything you guys got going on.
Right, it's probably just for turning radiuses
I'm
or
sure.
for getting the sidewalk in. They're putting a sidewalk in on both sides of the new bridge.
Okay,
That's what they're
yeah,
up to do. So they might have moved things a little bit
yeah.
in order to be able to accommodate
Yeah. Okay.
that. So let me look at the
Yes,
plans.
thank you. I appreciate it.
I have not seen the latest plans. Paul sent them to me last night after I left. I still haven't had a chance to open those up yet, so
Okay,
let me take a
Yeah.
look, because that project has been on hold for many months here.
yeah.
So now
I know it
apparently they're
has.
getting into it again, so,
So that's one of the benefits of being part of this committee. You hear all the backstories and you take it in. So when I saw that, I went, aha, I know where to go.
exactly.
and you got there just a few hours late.
Yeah.
Right. Good.
Thank you.
Well, that's good. Thank you for those updates. That's necessary, and one of our big priorities is to get those sidewalks in there. Status of Route 3 Wire Road, Babusick Brook Bridge. Are they?
You went over the Facebook,
Facebook.
Town Center video. D, you have to do D.
Yeah, you don't
Oh,
want
I
to skip
did
that.
D.
That's my time to shine, Nelson.
Oh, here, and I almost cut you off.
I wouldn't let you do that. Thanks, Don. We actually, it would have been fine probably to skip over. We don't have a whole lot. I know we're always happy to post any goings on social media. If there's anything in particular that you want to see, anyone on the committee wants to see on social media to get it out there, we're happy to post that. The other thing too is to keep in mind, not just social media, but we're going to be starting winter sports actually this evening. So that's a good time to do any kind of calls to action during the broadcast for anyone that might be listening or interested. I do show ID reads or station ID reads, and then we have the commentary, obviously, and any kind of events of interest or calls to action for Town Center Committee. We can kind of slip those into the broadcast, and we're really happy to do that. It's a good We have a good audience for that, and if there's any ideas for that kind of stuff, please throw them our way.
Could you put one in for the food drive that we have going on?
Yes,
You
yeah.
have all that information.
Yes, absolutely. That's a
Whatever is
great idea.
collected stays within the town.
Mm-hmm.
It goes to our two places here, and it gets put out to residents of the town. It doesn't
Yes.
go anywhere, and I
Okay.
think that's fairly important.
I think that's great. I will be one of the commentators tonight, so I'll put that in there, and I'll mention it for any of the broadcasts moving forward through Christmas or through the end of the month.
December 30th.
December 30th. Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Good. Well, thank you for bringing that up, Dawn. That's another good thing for the town and good for the people of the town to get some help there.
Mm-hmm.
And you said that winter sports were starting now. That means there's no more football, I take it, and soccer?
Football's over, so we have boys and girls basketball. We're doing wrestling and hockey as well.
Yeah.
And I think we're live broadcasting about 31 games, barring any winter weather. So a lot of opportunity to get any kind of extra messages out there. So, and
Those are
we're happy
Friday-
to do it.
those are
I'm
Friday-
really good at sliding them in there, real natural, like, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Good.
So, any ideas? Throw 'em my way, Nelson.
Okay.
All right.
I'll think about that. Where do you play hockey?
Hockey is at the West Side Ice Arena in Manchester.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, okay. I was
Yep.
just curious where it was. Okay, thank you. Any questions for Terrell? Any questions for Justin? No, nothing.
Thanks.
No. Okay. The next thing then, I tried to skip over to, and now we're back to the Wire Road Babusick Brook Bridge. Is that
It's moving along, and as you
That's
know, it takes a while to go through the process.
yes?
We had a meeting yesterday morning with both engineers, the state, and myself. It's going out to bid in January of 2026.
Okay, it's January now. Yeah.
Of 2026.
Yes.
We've got another year and months.
Yeah, well, that's what we had before. We were talking
Well,
about that.
it's definitively set
Okay.
for then.
Yeah,
The price of it keeps going up,
yeah.
as you can well imagine, but what they've done is they've combined several of our projects. So they've taken the bridge, which needs to be repaired and replaced, that goes over the Babusick Brook
Okay.
on Daniel Webster Highway. They noticed that the Wire Road intersection was really close, so they pulled that project in
Yeah.
so that we can accomplish the grading that we need and to have them blended together.
Mhm.
The town council has given their permission to be able to put a light at that intersection. And we will also be able to come in on the backside of the MYA or to the MYA with a light and a proper turning lane and to make all of that flow
Different
better.
entrance into the parking
The
lot.
last part of it is they've taken two pieces of our sidewalks, two ones that are on your plan here,
Yeah,
and they've incorporated those into this plan also.
yeah.
So the sidewalks will go from the new bridge all the way down on the west side of Route 3, which is the library side, all the way down to the library. So it'll make that connection. Then on the other side of the road, they will have a new sidewalk, which there is no sidewalk, from the lights at Babusick Lake Road, as it comes down here, because there's a crosswalk there already with the pedestrian lights there. We're gonna take that sidewalk and we're gonna continue it all the way up to Twin Bridge Road, so it will go that whole
Oh, nice.
distance and connect into the one that's by the Tractor Supply, or
Yeah.
just before it, the pizza place or whatever.
The signalized intersection, you said, just, bear with me, I'm trying to follow along. Wire Road and Route 3, right?
Yes.
That's where it's gonna be. Is it gonna kind of hook around, be more of a T?
It's gonna be a
Is-
T intersection.
T
If you
intersection?
come down and you know where the MYA building
Yeah.
is, it'll be on the Twin Bridge side. The intersection will end up on the Twin Bridge side of that building.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to go into the MYA, like, straight across
With
from
the
Y.
signal?
With the signal.
Oh, my goodness, that's awesome.
Yep,
That's a big plus.
yes. And the existing entrance will be an in from the, going northbound on Daniel Webster. It'll
Yeah.
be an in and an out going northward.
Yeah.
You will not be able to cross the street at
Yeah.
that. You have to go out to the light to make the
Make
left-hand
the
turn.
left-hand turn. Now I'm gonna like show my brilliance here. So this all meets the manual from Uniform Traffic Control Devices, right?
MUTCD, yes.
Yes. You know how I know that? Because I violated it a few times.
Yes, we cannot get state and federal
I
money
know,
violating any codes.
Got my hand slapped a few
There
times.
we go. So yes, we've met the codes. We were able to get the, the intersection in.
Anyway, yeah.
All to the
Yeah.
codes, so. It will be. So it actually combines two of our sidewalks, a bridge,
Yeah.
and an so it's a big project.
Yeah.
But it will be done at the same time. We're working on the phasing, we're working on the traffic plan and how to get
Yeah.
people ins and outs and all of that sort of stuff. So the plans from now until next December will be being finalized. And the last of our permits, we'll have to get some more permits to be able to accomplish all of this. But
Yeah.
we're working in our stages and we're moving forward.
Well, that's good.
I know you think it's a snail's pace, but not necessarily.
Well, it's good news as long as it's moving along and they're still trying to meet the schedules and trying to get close to what our original schedules were.
So everybody feels good about what the end product is gonna look like, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
You got everybody in the boat. The
Everybody's in the
council and-
boat,
yeah,
it takes some
yeah.
time, do it the right, yeah, that's awesome. Because
Yeah.
that's a difficult spot right there.
Right, and right now, we're going to be dealing with what's called the right-of-way.
Yeah,
So some of our impacts from all of this will be outside on private property.
Mhm.
So my next step will be to send out notification to the people and talk to the people that are affected by this, and then have conversations with them. We've had, I think Kyle had some
Kyle had some, yeah.
before he left. I will now have to pick up, now that we've got some better plans and know more of what areas we're gonna impact.
Yeah.
And go forward with them and bring them on board.
Yeah. Thank you for all you do.
That's my next
Yeah,
step,
thank
so,
you.
again, in my spare time.
You got a lot of spare time, eh? Yeah. Huh?
It's a good thing.
I have people for that.
People, good. Well, keep them happy and keep them on board and keep them focused and good.
I have a related question. Are
Yeah.
the construction for the bridges going over the turnpike, those are still scheduled to happen next year, right?
I don't know, because
okay.
they went on hold for a while.
Oh, did they? All right.
I haven't, last night, like I said, they've sent out another email with some plans. So I assume they're moving forward at this point. I haven't had a chance to read through them yet.
Okay. Yeah.
I
All right.
leave for an hour and I get 20 emails, so I haven't had a chance to catch up because yesterday I had meetings out of the office all day long. I left like at 9 o'clock and I didn't come back until 3:30, and
Awesome.
Yep.
this
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Those are great days.
Is Leo still with you? He's still helping?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Which Leo? I have 3.
Oh, I didn't realize you had 3.
I have 3.
I thought you had an engineer type, yeah.
I do, but I have 3 Leos throughout, so.
Okay. Well, okay. The only one I know is the one who helps you, and that's,
No, they all do.
yeah. Okay, good. Okay, any further questions for Dawn? Let's talk about, the road survey. I think you pretty much answered where you were last time, but just fill us in one more time.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
NRPC will be back in the spring to do more
Count people.
counts, yeah, pedestrian counts and probably traffic counts.
Yeah.
Recently we did a turning movement count at Wire Road and Bedford Road for Dawn with the camera device that we
Yeah.
acquired this year. So that was nice. Yeah, so
Yeah.
taking the winter off.
Okay, I realize it was kind of slow at this time. Pedestrian. Can't do
No,
what?
I'm busy doing other stuff though.
Dawn, okay, that's not going to happen much in the winter anyway, right? For pedestrian counts, yeah. Terrell provides us pedestrian counts. He's got an automatic counter, and we can put it at different intersections and find out how many people are walking and before and after. And we want to get some afters now on our new Sohegan hiking trail. But yeah, you were saying last time, I think he said there were 300.
It was like 138 per day or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's about.
That was cool.
Sounds
Yeah.
like the right.
It's awesome.
The right ballpark. Yeah,
Yeah.
last time I'd set up a counter at the new trailhead, and then further in where the trail goes under the turnpike, and then at the entrance of Wildcat Falls. So those were all up at the same time. So it's cool to see the numbers from that. So I'll do similar thing in the spring probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. All right. Let's see if there's anything else we need to cover under old business. New business. We've got something new. We've got someone new. I want to introduce Lisa Cornell.
Castle.
Castle, sorry. And she's interested in our committee and what we're doing, and maybe you could ask the committee any questions you have, or do you want to know more? And I've told her to send in her interest letter to the town council. They make the appointments to this committee. Sure, yeah.
You can come up here if you want. Just make sure you press the push button so that your mic goes on.
Well, I moved to town about 5 years ago from a very walkable town. And I live on 18 Pennacook Terrace. So a lot of times I will come down, and I'm only a mile from the library, so I do like to walk, although I have a leg injury right now. So I was really excited when they were working on the Sohegan Trail, when you put in the crosswalks. And I thought, oh, hopefully they'll stay, because there's really, coming from the west side of DW to cross over, say near the fire department, there's really no safe place to cross right there. So for me to walk, I'd have to walk all the way across the river, across the fire department, up to Buckley's, and the next crosswalk is at CVS. So I actually have to walk past the park
Yeah.
to get to a safe
Yeah.
crosswalk. So when they were taken down, I was like, oh darn. So it's interesting to hear what you're all doing, and I can see that it is, important to you to get something safe in there. So that was my concern. I wanted you to hear about that, and I am a walker. And then this is past, but when that bridge over the river closed,
Yeah.
I used to use that all the time to get to Wildcat. And then I started to have to drive my car to get to Wildcat. Now I can actually get there. It's going to be a little bit longer walk, but I'm really happy about that.
Yeah.
So, and that's all. Thank you for what you're doing.
Can I answer?
I'm sure.
So we do have what's called a TAP grant for the sidewalk on the west side of Daniel Webster Highway, starting at about the Railroad Ave area, and then going all the way down to the 360. There's a whole bunch of little pieces of sidewalk. We're going to combine them all and make one big one. We have a TAP grant for that. Unfortunately, it's out a few years. but that will happen. And we also have that bridge, the Chamberlain Bridge, is also in the 10-year plan for DOT. So when they do that, we will also work in getting a sidewalk on that other side of, because we're aware of it. It's just we could not leave them there with the way and the configuration that we have right now over that bridge. So,
Are you talking about at the crosswalk?
by the fire station,
Yeah.
where you were just talking about,
Oh.
yes, so there are plans.
Okay, even just for a crosswalk would be helpful.
It's
Yeah.
not that
It's
easy.
not that easy, yeah.
Not that easy. We have
Of course.
certain requirements that we have to be able to meet, certain codes in order to be able to do that. So
Okay.
it is in the plans. We are aware, and thank you very much for bringing it up, because it's always good to hear it again. What was your other comment on
It was the footbridge.
the footbridge?
Footbridge, yeah.
That is also in the plan. It's years out. We are aware there's a big issue out there. I have to write the letter of my life to the state to try to get that bumped up, and I am in that process. The town manager will review the letter when I get it complete. Unfortunately, I've had to be sidetracked with budgets and CIPs and a few other sundries that I've had to deal with, so.
Yeah, the other
But
concern
that's
with that
on
footbridge.
my, it's the
which-
footbridge, yes.
Yeah, but other concerns, one neighbor actually found kids on top of the bridge,
Yeah, I'm aware.
and then,
I'm aware.
so she called the police.
Yeah.
I found a pallet that was screwed onto,
Yeah.
and I called DOT, well, not DOT,
Right.
Merrimack, and I told them, I said, they're probably using it as a ladder to climb up there, so I think it's down.
Yes, we
yeah,
did take it down.
yeah.
But if you would like, if you can send me any pictures, anytime there's something going on out there, in addition to notifying the police, if you sent me whatever you've got, I can use that to the state and be able to try to get them to move this project forward so that we
Well, I
can.
do have a picture of that pallet.
Okay.
So I could send
I
that to
have
you.
one from Highway, but it's always good to have a different perspective.
Yeah.
So anytime you have any concerns, I mean, feel free.
I just don't want some kid to fall
Right.
into the river and have a
I don't want somebody
catastrophe.
being killed out there, and that's what my
Yeah.
fear is.
Right.
But I can give you my card, so you'll have my
Oh,
email on
thank
it.
you.
And you can, just let me know. If you have an issue, just give me a call or email me. Okay?
Thank you.
I want to take a minute to introduce Finley Rosshaus, who joined us in the middle of that, yeah, I knew, but didn't know when. We've just heard from Lisa Castle, and she's a resident of town, recently moved here from a town that had sidewalks, and she misses them. And she's interested in possibly joining the committee, and I told her to write to the council a letter of interest, and that we have an opening right now, so we have two openings, in fact. Yeah.
I apologize for the delay in getting here.
Okay, everybody's got other lives to live, but so that's okay. But I just wanted you to make the connection
Wonderful.
here, and you'll recognize it. Finley is on the town council, so he is our town council representative, and he'd be one to say, "Let's go with this." Right.
Grants are our friends, and that's why a lot of this, it's in the list, but there's timing, because other people are always trying to get into that lineup too. But I know we're familiar with the pedestrian bridge, and I believe it has to come down because it is a hazard, because of what you've seen, and we've heard it from Don as well. So,
Yeah. Just a little money, that's all.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, the next round of TAP grants that we're in, I think we have a grant for the library to the.
No.
No?
No.
What's the latest story then?
So, what I had applied for in September, was to be able to get on to the New Hampshire DOT 10-year, what they call the 10-year list.
Yeah,
They put you on the plan, and then you work your way up through to be able to have the project put in, and usually that's like an 80/20 grant, that type thing.
mm-hmm,
So it works between state and federal monies. I came in 5th on that out of 40-something projects.
yeah.
They only took the first 4. So I'm on a standby list. So knowing the importance of that sidewalk,
Yeah,
last Friday, actually I did on Thursday, it was due on Friday, I put in for the TAP grant, which is a different set of monies,
yeah,
but it still falls into the 10-year plan eventually.
yeah. The one you talked about previously was the GAS, governor's,
No,
no,
no. It was the straight 10-year plan for the Department of Transportation for the
Yeah.
state.
okay,
So the TAP grant is the Transportation Alternatives Program,
yes,
TAP.
yeah,
That's why it's all capitalized. I submitted the it's a letter of interest I submitted last Thursday.
yeah.
It was due on Friday. I have confirmation that they received it. January, I will have to go to a special meeting at DOT for that grant. Then in February, I have the actual application will be due, and I'll have to make another presentation at the NRPC to be able to get onto that. So what they do is the state has a pot of money for these TAP grants, and then they have each one of the NRPCs give their input into it, and then once they get them all together, then the state decides, the listing. So
Yeah.
National Regional will do their listing, and they have so much money, $6 or $7 million, whatever it is. But I have to obviously step up my game once because
Yeah,
I missed it,
yeah,
If somebody drops out, then I can get into the same 10-year
Yeah.
plan, but I'm not gonna bank on that. So I put that same project in, so I will hopefully get
yeah,
monies
yeah.
from this.
I thought at one time we were first on their list.
We were
Yeah.
only first in presentation.
Oh.
It means nothing. They drew our number, or our name out of a hat.
Oh,
That's how we got first.
whatever it takes.
I had to do the presentation September 1st, because they put all the names of the different towns that were submitting applications, so they put them all into a hat, and they drew Merrimack's out first, so we had to present first. It didn't have any meaning to it.
Who is the authorizing body who sits there at the high table who says yes and no, or thumbs up or thumbs down? I'm
It
being
is-
dramatic.
It
now.
is not a one person.
I know it isn't.
It is a team of other towns that have not made submission for the TTAP, our Transportation Alternatives meeting that we go to, that we do the presentations for, that he sits in on.
Yeah.
So it's other communities. If they have not submitted a project, they sit on this committee and will vote on all of the various projects and rank them.
There's a
criteria,
yeah.
there's a listing, there's sheet after sheet.
So
of-
this is for the expenditure of state and federal money. We have these people who sit on this committee.
It's only to get through the NRPC, and we all have the same criteria that we have to meet.
Okay.
And you get points for that.
Okay.
So when you get the most points, then you get put on the list, 1, 2, 3, 4, however it goes. They go down the list, so everybody gets ranked, then they look at how much the projects cost versus how much they have in hand, and that's how many
Well,
people.
that's usually the way it goes. It's kind of like with adequacy money. They look at what the formula says and then they go, oh, we can't afford that, so we're going to fund it at 60%.
Well, they
Same kind of thing.
don't do that, but they do an 80-20 split. So no
80-20
matter what
split.
I'm doing, it's an 80-20 split
Yeah.
in this particular case.
See, we don't even get that.
But, and then, once the NRPCs, so Nashua, or there's Western, Southern, and
Southern and Southwest.
Southwest.
and
So there's a
Stratford.
number of them.
Yeah.
They all come together, they all submit all of the projects in the order up to the state, and then they go through another ranking process up there,
This doesn't have to go through like the executive council or anything.
eventually.
Eventually.
When it gets
That's why
finalized.
those positions, when you vote, you think executive council, says, okay, sounds like a good deal. They have a lot of power in
Right.
Concord, and people should pay attention to who's on those committees.
But I don't believe they do the ranking.
They don't do the ranking.
they don't
but
do the
make
ranking.
They
They do
make
the
the
s-
ultimate decision.
They make the sign off, yes.
Yes, okay,
And then it goes to the governor,
okay.
and eventually he'll sign it,
Or not.
or not. Right. So, it's a long process.
Thank you.
You know, we're
Doing
taking
that.
like over a year just to get through some of this process. I don't have the timeline, I didn't memorize the timeline, other than when I need to submit something.
It's the important date.
Yeah, for me, yeah. And beyond that, I don't know off the top of my head, so. But it takes a while to go through the process,
Oh,
And-
yeah.
get back in the
I
plans.
sympathize. I do the same. We do the same thing on the school side.
Yep.
You know, then if you, it's like they make an announcement and then they say, well, it's due Monday, and they do that on a Friday afternoon. You know,
Right.
I mean, I've been there before too.
So 2 years ago, when I went through, I put in several projects. I put in the bridge down here for Chamberlain Bridge, which came out number one. And I was number one on that one. That one was number one,
I
so
get 'em
so we got the
confused.
monies for that. The other project I got in that was the triangle piece over at Natticook. That triangle, to take that out and make a T intersection, they accepted that one, for traffic safety issues. So that's on the plan, that's in there. I didn't put any more sidewalks in for this time because I felt this one was so important that I didn't want to go pushing, because they also, this last time, people that put in more than one, which we did put in a couple projects, they eliminated one of them. They only took the best one and said, we're only giving one per town.
Yeah, you can't get too greedy when you're putting in stuff like
Right.
that. I know what you
Because the
mean.
costs keep going up, the construction
It's an
costs to
unwritten
do
rule,
all
yeah.
of this is, you know,
Right.
getting higher and higher. So they're giving out fewer and fewer grants, and, you know, they want to share the wealth around, so.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Well, welcome to New Hampshire. We'll keep.
Common than you think.
Yeah. Okay, thanks for all you do, Dawn, and keep pushing, and if there's anything that this committee can do, you know, report letters of support or whatever.
You will need to do a letter of support for the February submission. I will tell you that.
Well, okay, tell me what,
I will do something up.
yeah, remind me, and I will do that on behalf of the committee, yeah.
Well, we'll probably have to vote on that, so the committee's all on board. All right?
Oh, okay,
You
yeah.
can't just do.
Yeah, well, this committee, I'm not worried about this committee. They're all on board for sidewalks. But let me know and we'll make it happen. The other thing was, well, yeah, okay, that's the thing of the day is this priority list. You and I talked about the priority list before Finley got here. We just mentioned that we wanted to make sure my list and Dawn's list were the same list, which I thought they were, and we'll have to see. And if it isn't, we'll bring it for a meeting, for our next meeting. Which brings us to our next meeting, which will be in January sometime. I think it ought to be in January for two reasons. One, to get this letter approved. If it doesn't, if we need to do it sooner, we can. I don't have a January calendar. This calendar runs out here in December. But,
Here's a 25.
oh, you got 25, all right. Oh, right next to it, thanks. Okay, so, what's the wish of the committee to meet again in January? I should say that one of the things we'll talk about in January will be our support to the winter carnival. I presume there's going to be a winter carnival in February, and we'll want to talk about that, what we'll be doing out there for support to the Park and Rec Department.
Don, when would you need to send that letter out? In February? Is it the beginning of February, or it's whenever? You're not really sure. I just don't know if we need to be meeting earlier in January, or it doesn't really matter as long as you
doesn't-
have it.
It does, I have to go to a meeting at DOT first
Okay.
in January.
Mhm.
I don't remember the date of the submission, but I know it's in February, so, I mean, if I can prepare the letter and have you all look at it in January and be able to have Nelson sign it
Okay.
after, then we'll be good.
Okay. All right.
Because I need to get it from town council, town manager, planning board, and a whole bunch of.
Wow.
I need a lot.
Okay.
Well, the more support I have behind.
Yeah.
And the fact that I have money's already being established in the CIP
Mhm.
makes you a step ahead. They look at everything.
Yeah.
They look at your support, they look at your finances. I mean, they do the whole gambit
Hmm.
and make sure that it checks off. And the more points I can get, the
Better chance.
better chance I have.
Love that. Okay.
So I gear my whole thing, whole presentation, the whole application to the checklist.
Great.
That's my secret.
Don't tell anyone
Others are
else.
finding it out.
No one's listening.
No one's,
Cut your
At
mics.
least from
right now.
other towns, anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
okay, well, in January, we've got Fridays on the 17, 24, and 31. I think the other two are too early.
24th?
24 works for me if it
Yeah, I
works
think
for
that might be
24.
best on
Sounds
our
good.
end here.
Okay, then that's all that I have on the agenda.
What about public comments?
Oh, public comments. Well,
just check it.
just-
My reflection.
Motion to adjourn.
who made the motion?
Yeah.
Justin?
Justin. I'll second.
And Dawn? All in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstaining? None? All were in favor?
Let the record show Finley joined the meeting at 12:30 p.m. Thanks, Rhonda.
He's not letting you off it.